Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Planet for Tech. I hope you all are doing great and learning lots by watching all the episodes of our series PHP Beginners to Master. So guys, till now we have completed 18th episodes of this series PHP Beginners to Master, and today I am going to describe you some new concept of PHP in the next episode of this series, that is the episode 19. So in this episode 19 I am going to describe you brief about state management in PHP. So guys, you can see here I have mentioned it as a part 1. So this topic is going to be delivered in a two part, part 1 and part 2. So in the part 1 I am going to describe you the basic of the state management, what the state is and how we can manage in the PHP. So what is the role of this state management, what the different protocols in IT, you can say TCP and HTTP. So what the difference between that, and that we will understand in this session. So before moving to that, let me show you like how much topic we are going to deal in this episode. So let's start this series. If So before starting this episode, I want to say, like, if you are new in this channel, so guys, let's see the topics what we are going to discuss in this episode here. So these topics are nothing but you can see here in this screen itself what. So we have five topics to describe in this to understand in this episode of this PHP Beginners to Master series. So guys, you can see here the first one is the what is the state management system and its type. So in this topic we will going to see like what this state management is, why we need, and how many types of the state management are there. So these all things we are going to understand in this topic 1. And the second topic is cookies. So here we will understand like what this cookies is, what is the role of cookies, how much this is beneficial, and when we need this, and how we can create this practically in PHP. So how we can use these cookies for our project. So these all things we are going to cover in this session. So in the topic 2 we are going to learn lots by by this episode cookies. And the next topic is session. So in this session we will understand the same thing like how the session is different from cookies, and how we can create session in PHP, what is session, what is the need of session, and which purpose we can fulfill by using this session. So these all things we will discuss in a brief way, and we will learn practically as well. And after that, so the next topic is cookies versus session. So here we will see the difference between the cookies and session, what is the difference and why these two terms are there for the same purpose. But there will be some similarity as well as the differences as well. So similarity in terms of the way of sharing the data is common, but the difference is that like cookies is for the client side and the session is for the server side. So this we will discuss in a very brief way, and after that we will discuss on this working of session and cookies together in the together means if we are creating any project, so in that project if we are using session and the cookies together, so how these are helping each other. So that cooperation we will understand here, like how cookies support the session, and without cookies it is not possible to you implement the concept of session. So cookies is always helping session to implement this logic. So these all questions and in these all concepts we are going to discuss in this episode. So guys, be in touch and keep tuned yourself, and so without wasting lots of time, let's start the practical session, and there we are going to understand like what is the state management system and its type. So let's start it. So guys, here you can see the state management. So state management means there are different protocols in the internet, that is the TCP and the IP and the HTTP. So on the among these protocols, there is a one important, that is the HTTP protocol. Here you can see. So this is the HTTP protocol. So HTTP protocols stands from the hypertext transfer protocol. So what this protocol does for us? So let's suppose an example. I'm going to describe you. Let me open the notepad first. So I hope you can see my notepad here. So we are going to deal with the two things, that is the browser and the server. So here the browser is considered as the you can say client. Suppose the browser is what? The client. Client is nothing but the browser, web browser, whatever Google Chrome or Firefox you are using. So it is going to be considered as the client. So browser, and there will be a server place where you are going to store all the files whatever you want in the future. So there will be a one server. The server is storing our all the files related to the project related files. So all the files are being stored there in the server place. So there are in between internet is available. That internet is providing us facility so that you guys can request in the browser, like when you type something like www.facebook.com, so it shows you the pages of the facebook.com which are already stored in the somewhere server. So that's so, so that is the way of communication between the client and the server. So this is very broad discussion, and this is very broad topic. So we will cover this in another session. So without going in the depths, let me show you here. So client is what? The browser where from where we are requesting, and the server is the place where all the files are already placed, stored. So let me show you one example here in the browser. So let's suppose if I am typing here something like you can say spytech.in. So see, no, not spytech. So let me keep it facebook.com. So if I'm typing here the facebook.com, it means what? Uh, there are some, you can say, the files are place or servers where all the files related to the Facebook are placed. So that place is called as the server, and the browser, this is the browser Google Chrome, you can see. So this browser is playing the role of what? You can say it is the client. So from client we are requesting something to be displayed in our browser. So client is always requesting something, and that request goes to the server, and the server is sending a response back. So that response is being displayed here in this browser itself. So this is the way how this HTTP protocol works. So HTTP protocol takes the request from the client, means browser, and it sends the request to the server, that is the place where you have all the project related files. So there your response is being processed. After processing the response, you are going to take the uh, response, and your client, means your browser, is displaying that response. So this way this HTTP uh, protocol works. So this HTTP protocol works in this way, and it takes the request and it returns the response to the client itself. So the first time how this happens, so client client sends the request to the server. This is the first communication, and after the after processing this request, again server returns. So this server, so this will be the next one. So this server will return the response to client back. So that response is going to be used by the client. So this way HTTP works here, and while this communication is happening, so the server and client both are not aware, like who is typing in the browser side, and who is browsing the particular page, and for what purpose the user is browsing. So these all information server is not aware, and server is not that much interested to know, like why these pages are being browsed there in the client side. So let's suppose you are doing some shopping online. Let's suppose I am going to search on Amazon. if you are typing something on if you are trying to purchase something on the browser side, you can see here. So this is the Amazon site. So if I am going to search something here, so the browser will just give me the UI from where I can search and I can select the product and I can put it in my cart. But the server is not going to understand like which user is logged in and which user is trying to which user is trying to shop in this Amazon dot in. So that way, so it may possible like this at the same time in a world there are n number of users are browsing the same page and they are also placing the order for the same product. So that information how we can manage, how the server can understand like which user wants which kind of information, which user has added which product in their cart. So these all information how the server can understand. So this is the state. So this is the state, and this state is being managed by the server and the client itself. So for that we are going to understand the usage of cookies and session. So state is what? The see, you can see the first time if I am on the home page, so this is my first state. And if I am changing the state, let's suppose I am going to the mobile category, so this is my second state. And if I am again going back to the same home page, so this is my third state. So there are different states what I am from which pages user is going through. So those states are being managed by the server. So that is the state management, you can say. So for that we there are two concepts we are going to deal in this episode. These are the cookies and session. So that state is being managed on the server side and partially managed by the client side. So for the client side we use the cookie, and for server side we use the session, you can say. Now let's see the description of this. So you can see here, so guys, this episode is going to be a bit theoretical, and in the part 2 we are going to understand the things in a practical way. So you can see, so the basic fundamental the basic foundation of a data communication system for the internet is HTTP, that is the hypertext transfer protocol that I have already described you. So this is the data communication way, which is an application layer protocol, distributive and the collaborative and the hypermedia information system. As we know that the HTTP is generic and stateless protocol. So guys, so this line is very much important. So you have to make a note for this if you are fresher, or professional as well. So HTTP is generic and the stateless protocol. It means this protocol is not going to manage the state itself. So there should be some concepts we have to introduce that is going to manage this state. So those concepts are nothing but the cookies and the session. So that is the main pillar of this complete episode. So we will discuss that in a very soon. You can see. So HTTP is what? HTTP is a stateless protocol to manage the state in the application like the e-commerce and the social media blog sites, many commercial sites with the help of the session and the cookies. This is the main things where we have to come and we have to stay and we have to learn lots. Here are the sessions and cookies. So why we use the session and cookies? This is the first question. So the answer is what? HTTP is a very you can say basic foundation of data communication system. So firstly, you have to reply HTTP is the basic foundation of a data communication system. So in that, HTTP is a stateless protocol. It never keeps the state, and to manage these states properly, we use session and cookies. So this is the answer, like why we need session and cookies. So guys, I hope you all are understood like why we need session and cookies. So session and cookies are needed just to maintain the states, because HTTP is stateless protocol. It never manage the states, but it can be done with the help of session and cookies. So now let's move to the next line. So HTTP is a stateless protocol. We have already understood this point, due to which it is known to be connectionless. So HTTP is also known as the connectionless because it never understands the states. So the server and the client are aware of each other. The server means the place where we have stored the files, and the client means the browser where we are just searching that files. So the server and states know each other only when the current request happens. So if you are requesting something, so that time only they understand like this client is requesting this particular page. But what happen if you are switching to the other page? So if you are switching to the other page, so server is not going to remember like previously in which page you were there. So that is not being managed by the server. So that is what here I have mentioned. So after that, the client and the server forgot. After that, the client and the server forgot about each other. So once your request is changed, so client and server both forgot like what their previous state. So that time the challenges comes like how we can handle this issue. So that browser cannot get information between the different requests across the web pages. That is what we have already discussed. So to handle this issue, to overcome this issue, the topic sessions and cookies are introduced here. So those we are going to handle. So in this picture, guys, you can see if let me zoom it so that uh, it is more visible for you guys. So here you can see in the picture, so this is the web client, means the browser, Google Chrome or the Firefox browser you can say. So firstly what we do, so we send the request from the client to the application layer. So this is this separation line, you can understand this is application layer kind of, and this goes to the web server first, and the web server look for the particular request, whether this request or file is available or not. So it looks for the server side scripting, that is the PHP or other language also like the JSP and ASP all. So after looking that server side script, it execute that script. If needed some information, then it can pull the information from database as well. So after pulling the information, it prepares one bundle of data, and that data is again being sent back to the client with the help of web server itself. So web server prepares a response, and that response is being sent back to the client. So this way it all communication happens. Now let's see the type of the state management system. So how many types means how many ways we can manage these states. So we have understand like this what this state is. So state is nothing but you can say just to remember the previous state, or you can say the previous uh, page information or previous state of the client by the server is called as the state management. So there are two type of state management you can see here. So the first one is the server side state management system. So in the server side statement management system, what we does, actually server stores all the information of the states related in the temporary file. So that is called as server side state management system. So in server side state management system, where we used to store the user specific information to identify user on the server, and information is available in every web pages. So for that, what concepts are introduced here? So for that, session is there. So session, with the help of session variables, we can manage the server side state management. Now, the next is the client side state management system. The same way what the server is doing in the server side, the client means the browser is doing the same in the client side. So client side state management system, the user information is stored by the browser itself, so that is being done by the help of the cookies. So cookies is playing its role here. So guys, this much is clear, I think. So cookies is used only for the client side statement management, and session is used for the server side state management. So I hope these two topics like what is the state management, why we use session, why we use cookies. So these all are clear to all guys. Now let's move to the next. Like you can see here. So now you all have the question answer for this question. Like what is the HTTP? So why we use session and cookies? So session and cookies are being used just to manage the uh, states, you can say, because the HTTP is the basic foundation of data communication system. But this HTTP is stateless protocol. It is not, remember, it is not it forgets all about the previous information when user enters in the first page of the website. So that time it understand like this is the first page, but after this second when the user switches to the next page, the server forgot everything and the client forgot everything what the previous was. Means the user was in which page, this information got forgot by the browser as well as the server. So to overcome this issue, the topic session and cookies are introduced here. So I hope this is bit clear to all, like what is session and what is cookies, and how many type of state management systems are there: server side statement management system and the client side state management system. For server side we use what session, and for client side we use the cookies. So this much guys, and now we are going to understand like what the cookies is, what the session is, how we can create it in the practical approach. So let me show you in Visual Studio. So let's start the VS Code. So here I'm going to create one cookie, and I will show you like how this cookie information we are going to store in the browser first. So I hope you all are clear about the the cookies is used for storing the information to the client side. So I'm going to describe you cookies first here. So let me make. So firstly we will learn about the cookies, how we use cookies in the PHP. So cookies in PHP. Sorry. So cookies, to create the cookie, what function we need? So to create cookie. So to create cookie, we need set cookie function. So there is set cookie function available in PHP. With the help of this, we can set the cookie. So the set cookie function takes many number of arguments. The first argument is nothing but the name of the cookie. Let's suppose it is user underscore name. So here we are going to store username information in the variable that is user underscore name. So the first argument of this function is the name of the cookie itself, and the second argument is its value, like what value we have to store in this key. So the value we are going to store, let give me my email ID. So this email ID I want to store in this cookie. So let's see, and after this for simplicity, we can mention cookie is saved in the browser. Now let me run this project. Let me run this file in the browser. So here you can see cookies are saved in the browser. Let me zoom it guys for you so that you can see properly. Now we have to understand where this cookies is saved. We want to see. So how we can do this? So guys, you can see there is a one eye icon in this browser. If you are using the Chrome browser, so you can see this here itself eye icon. So after clicking this eye icon, it will give you this kind of pop-up cookies and site settings. So just click on the cookies. So in the cookies you can see there is allowed and blocked. So we have to look on the allowed tab, clicking on the local host. So here you can see session storage and the cookies storage. So this is what I have described you, like to manage the state we use cookies and session as well. So we have to look in the cookies first. So in the cookies you can see this much cookie are already being managed by my browser. So you can see this is the username what I have stored right now. So this username is storing the information like my email ID here. So here at the rate is being encrypted like percentage 40. So this is the encryption being managed by the browser client itself. So we don't need to bother about this. So this is the way like we can store the information in the browser itself. So this is what the cookie username we have stored here. Now so you can see here, so this way guys we used to create the cookie in the PHP. So this is the way, and if you want to set some expiry time, so cookie can cookie it will get expired after that. If we are closing the browser, so it will just remove that cookie. You can see here, if I'm going to close this browser, so it will remove that cookie there. I just close my browser and going to start again, and going to see localhost and practice. So let me show you. This is still remains because there are some time limit. It is by default being managed by the browser. So we, if you want to remove this cookie from here, so how we can do it in the PHP? So this is the way how to create the cookie in the PHP, and let me show you how to remove cookie. So to remove it, so we need only to set the time. The third argument of this function is the set expiry time. So after how long it will get expired. So here I'm going to mention the time. So time is the PHP function. It give us the current time in the millisecond. In this, I am going to subtract something so that we can put expiry time previous means back to the current time. So let me give 36 seconds here. So 1 hour back, 1 hour back, this cookies is going to be expired here. So for that we need to so like let me comment it, and when I will execute this, so you will see like the this line is creating the cookie, and but this line is removing the cookie. Now let's see the cookie is removed or not. It is still there. I think we are missing something. So that thing we have to check. Okay, in the same page we have done the same. That is why it is showing this way. So this page is already creating the cookie, and this page is removing the session cookies here. So let me show you in a different page. Let me create one more page, that is test.php. So in that page I am going to remove the cookie. So let me use this line only. So the first page is creating the cookie, and the second page test is just removing the cookie. So let me show you practically. So you can see here we have 6 cookies in use. So when I'm going to use the second page test.php, yes, guys, so we can see how this cookie get removed. So here you can see like with the help of this set cookie method, we are just setting the value of this cookie key, that is the username. The value is this one. And in the other page we are going to remove this cookie. So here we have to call two things. The first one is the we have to unset the key value here with the help of the PHP unset method. So what it will do, so it will just remove the this key from the browser cookies, and after that we can expire it. So here we can expire the cookie with the help of this set cookie, and uh, here we don't need to pass, we can pass the value as blank. The time should be the minus time whatever we have used it. So this timing we have to mention here, so that should be the time previous one, and this is the path, like the root path. This is not that much required, you can skip it. Only these two first argument, that is the cookie name, and the second argument cookie value, these two are required one. So let me show you the first how we can create it and how we can remove it. So in the index.php you can see we have created the cookie. So here you can see in the browser the cookie is stored here in this username, so the value is this one, the content is this one, and this is the key. But when we go to the next page, that is the test.php, so that cookie will get removed. Let me show you how you can check it. So you can see here in the username section, the key is remains there, so key is there, but the content you can see here, it is showing as deleted. The content is deleted here. So this way, guys, you can see like how we can delete the cookies and how we can create the cookies in PHP. So this is just small discussion regarding the cookie and the session. This episode was mainly focusing on the state management system in the PHP, so that we have already covered. But in the next part of this episode, we are going to learn about lots practically things in the cookies and session, and cookies versus session, and the working for the session and cookies together. So in this episode, this much guys, we have completed this first topic, and in the next episode we are going to learn about rest for topics. So till that time, guys, you can keep tuned and just watch all the episode of this series to understand PHP in a better way, and to have the enough confidence to crack the interview, to work on the top level, or you can say the MNC companies as well. So these episodes are going to be helpful for you guys. So thank you for watching till thank you, and we are going to understand rest in the next part of this episode. Thank you guys.